Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a lovely day. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, today we're going to create a project for Papertrey Ink, and we're using one of the brand new stamp sets that's part of the latest release over at the Papertrey Ink shop. This stamp set is so fun. It's called Floating By, and there are some fruit shaped floaties, and then there's one round floaty that's kind of, you can emulate an inner tube, but to me it kind of looked like a donut. So we're gonna there's pineapples and fruit slices that you could create, citrus wedges, or even a watermelon, which makes it really fun. But my eye was caught with the donut shaped floaty. So we're going to create a card that kind of emulates a donut. So with that being said, we're going to jump in and get started. This is a super fun stamp set. There's lots of sentiments in here, and then there's a coordinating die set that I'm going to take out that donut shape. I like it because you can cut out the sentiments, a few of the sentiments that are in here. But let's go ahead and do a little bit of stamping. The colors that I'm going to be using to create my floaties or my donuts, I have 5 different color sets. Since there's 2 layers, I wanted a light and a dark of a similar color. So first color combination is Hawaiian Shores with Aqua Mist. The second is Blueberry Sky with Spring Rain. Third is New Leaf with Limeade Ice. Fourth is Raspberry Fizz with Lovely Lady. And my final color combination is Plum Pudding with Lavender Moon. I'm going to put all of these aside, and I'm going to bring in my stamping positioner. I brought in my stamping positioner, and then I have a panel that's 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Now I did this because I can rotate. I can stamp one, and then I can just rotate, and then rotate, and then I can get 4 of my floaties on one panel. And I actually have 2 pieces of cardstock that I cut. So I'll take my most solid image, put it in the corner here, and then I'll pick it up with the lid of my stamping positioner, and then we're going to go over it with those inks that I mentioned earlier. Since it's the most solid image, I want to take my lightest ink. This is the Aqua Mist, and I will go over my image and stamp this. I'm going to stamp it a couple times. Okay, and then I'm going to take my panel and I'm going to rotate it, and we can clean off our stamp, and then we're going to go in with our second lightest ink, which is Spring Rain. We'll stamp this a couple times too. And then I can just repeat the process. I'm going to rotate my panel, and my next color will be Limeade Ice. Wipe off my image here. Now I'm finishing up my second panel, you can see here. Now I stamped 2 of my Lovely Lady. Actually, this is Lovely Lady. And Lovely Lady is pretty close to my Lavender Moon, but I know once I add my second color it's going to brighten up. But I did want to bring in a yellowy orange combination, and so we're bringing in a couple more inks that I didn't mention. I'm bringing in Harvest Gold, that's this color, and then we're going to do the highlighting with my Orange Zest. So all of my base floaties are stamped. I'll just clean off my stamp, and then we are going to line up our second image, our second layer. Very easy to line up. And that's the best thing about having the square, is you can just keep rotating it. It just makes it so much easier. Now we're going to go in with our darkest ink, and we'll just continue with our stamping to create that 3D look. I love the way these look. Good enough to eat. I'm going to flip it over here, and we're going to repeat the process until all of our layers are completed. Now, once we have our floaties all stamped, I did, and I had to stamp one more because my ink pad, I just refilled it, so it was extra juicy. I made a little mistake in my inking, but I just re-stamped that one over here separately, and we're good to go. I'm going to take the coordinating die, and we're going to die cut out each one of these, and then when I'm done, I will be right back. After I die cut out my floaties, I did decide not to use these colors, the purple and the green. This one has the Hawaiian shores and also the aqua mist. I chose not to use these, and then I did stamp a couple more of the brighter colors. For my card, I wanted some real bright colors, so we're going to go with the pinks, the yellows, the blues, and the greens. I think that's going to work out perfect. So I'm going to set these aside and we're going to work on our background. Again, instead of using these as floaties, I thought they looked like fun donuts. So I'm going to set these aside and we're going to work on our background. Now, I like frosted donuts. So we are going to use the loop-de-loop die to create a background for our card today. This is such a fun die. And I'm going to die cut it out a couple rows, I would say 3 or 4 rows of these because I want to create an entire background with the loop-de-loop. So I did go ahead, since this is kind of a detailed border die, I did put double-sided adhesive behind my cardstock here. Let me show you. So I'm basically creating a sticker with my cardstock. This way when I die cut it out my loop-de-loops, all I have to do is remove the adhesive backing. Now while I'm at it, I'm also going to die cut out with the floaty circle die. I'm going to die cut out some fun foam with this. This way I could pop up all of my floaties. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Okay, I went ahead and did all my die cutting. So I have a whole bunch of foam. This is adhesive backed fun foam. I just grabbed it from my stash. I have a whole bunch that I need to use up, and I thought pink was a nice background. You're not going to be able to see it, so I wasn't concerned about the color. And then I did die cut out 4 of my loop-de-loop strips, and then I'm going to keep my background white today, and we're just going to fill the background with I think this looks like frosting, so I thought it'd be fun to create a little frosting background. This would be actually cute on the donuts themselves too. So let's go ahead and create a background. I die cut out 4 and I think that's going to be a perfect amount. And I wasn't sure if I should put the loops going opposite or just all one way. And I think we're just going to go all one way. So I think it's fun using your border dies to create tone-on-tone backgrounds. So if you were to die cut out the loop-de-loop with yellow cardstock and put it on a yellow card base or yellow cardstock, I think that looks really nice, the tone on tone. It just adds a lot of dimension. Now I'm going to add my first loop-de-loop on the very bottom, and again, since I put adhesive on the back, all I do is peel and stick it, which makes it really super nice and very easy. And then I'm going to trim off the end, and I'm going to repeat the process, just filling in that background. Actually, I'm going to go to the top next because this way I can evenly space it. Any of the excess overhanging, I'm just going to trim off, and 4 was the perfect amount. And I ended up spacing them probably about a 1/4 inch in between them all. So we have a fun tone-on-tone background. Okay, now what we're going to do is flip over our donuts and we're going to add the foam adhesive behind here, and I'm just going to use my tape runner. After we have all of our donuts with foam adhesive behind them, we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment. I'm going to take some white cardstock and we're going to stamp I Miss You, just using my True Black ink here. So we'll ink up our sentiment. The nice thing is there's a coordinating die that you could die cut this out. So let's take the coordinating die I'll line it up and we're going to die cut out our sentiment for our card. After we have our sentiment die cut out, I'm going to go ahead and flip it around, and I did go ahead and die cut out some white fun foam so we could pop up our sentiment also. And this way we have a little dimension to our sentiment. Okay, before we add this to our card base, we're going to adhere our donuts all over the background. Once I'm happy with my placement, I'm going to take my scissors and we're just going to trim along the edge of our panel and keep those extra pieces, because if we have any extra areas, we can just fill it in. The pieces that you see here down that we trimmed off, because these make great fillers for the open areas on my panel. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so I have an open area here and here. What we can do is take our extra piece and just adhere it to the bottom. Makes it really easy. We can add this one over here. Looks like we might need a little blue up in this corner. And then we can just continue the pattern. So I think 8 was the perfect amount. After our background panel is all done, we can go ahead and add our sentiment. I love the way this looks. The little loop-de-loop in the background just adds to it. And then we're going to flip over our panel. I'm going to add adhesive to it, and we'll put this on our card base. After we have our panel adhered, we just need to add our finishing touches, and I'm going to add some icing using some Stickles. This is frosted lace. It's going to give me dimension and sparkle all at the same time, and what I'm going to do is add swirlies around some of the donuts here. The frosted lace is not white. It's kind of going to dry a little bit on the clear side, but it's going to add just the right amount of dimension that I want. Okay, so now we have frosting. And there is my donut card. We're turning floaties into donuts today. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish you a fabulous day. This stamp set, again, is called Floating By, and it's brand new over at Papertrey Ink. And I hope you get a chance to check it out. Have a great day. We will see you soon. Bye-bye.